Eternal Evil is a survival horror game which focuses a little bit more on vampire, than zombies, but it is very much Resident Evil inspired. I had a little bit of experience with the prologue, and there was some jank. There was some jank, and hopefully the issues that I had with the game previously have been dealt with. Having a modern Resident Evil game with a vampire theme is definitely an interesting concept. I mean, they kind of did that in Village. So when I played Eternal Evil Prologue, I was curious to see how the final product would improve on it. The short answer is, it did improve. A little. Eternal Evil is surprisingly long, and some of the issues have been addressed, like the overall optimization. Although it's far from perfect, it is better. They've added comic book style cutscenes, a story does in fact exist, and there is now some serviceable voice acting. The thing is, Eternal Evil can be summed up in one sentence. It works well, you can play it, and there are some vampires. This may seem harsh, but that's pretty much all there is to it. The generic vampires are just zombies, the gunplay is fine, movement is a little janky, but there is nothing really unique going on. You could play this game all the way through and be satisfied, but there isn't a single wow moment that stood out to me, even while writing this script shortly after completing the game. I can, however, think of many negative issues which infuriated me. Let's start with the simple things. You can't really rebind your controls. You think you can, but they are hard locked to the default keys. And when you restart the game, it resets all your bindings anyway. When aiming your gun, as soon as you turn, your gun flails around wildly, so you can't tell where your bullet is going to end up. You can die immediately after cutscenes if there are any vampires nearby when you enter that cutscene. As soon as you can move again, they are already biting you. Boss AI is exploitable. The map is almost useless as there are no map markers for key items or quest objectives to let you know where to go. This is extremely annoying when you have to look for a specific item to progress the story or get fuel from a car. It can't be any car, it can only be from one super special coupe. Items can be hidden due to blending in with the environment, and there is no pickup prompt. And finally, onto my two major issues with this game. The maps are way too cluttered. Both you and the enemy will constantly get stuck, causing you to glitch about, have to reload the game sometimes because you can't move, or even get blocked in a room because a boss died near the doorway and you can't pass through them. Lastly, the puzzles. The majority of the puzzles are way too complex, so you could easily waste 20 to 30 minutes on some of them. This will add up to your final playthrough. At first I thought it was just me, but I looked up other videos and they had the same issues. All in all, the game is fine enough to play, but there are a bunch of issues. I really hope that there are some updates to this game, and fast, because this could be a whole lot of fun. The developers seem pretty competent, so I hope these changes happen sooner rather than later. Yes, a tough one, because I would recommend you play this game, but there's still a lot of issues with it, and it will put a lot of people off. I can put up with some stuff if I enjoy the genre of the game. I can put up with some terrible development decisions, shall we say, like just having those extra bodies just lying around all the time. Just it gets in the way, and it is so cluttered, and like the entire mansion section, for example, even when you go into the forest for the second campaign, everything is very cluttered, so you get stuck on everything all the time. It is an absolute nightmare to move around. It's like playing PUBG, but you're even more in swamp water, and so everything's still a bit slower. It is very frustrating. And yeah, when it comes to adding puzzles in a horror game that's kind of action based, just don't make them too complex. There's no real need. I'm glad there's the skip puzzle feature, but having that feature in the game doesn't that tell you that your puzzle's a bit too complex to begin with? So I would redo the puzzle system, make them a bit easier. Don't add slide puzzles. Please don't add slide puzzles. But yeah, just dumb them down a little bit so people can just breeze through them instead of going, oh no, I need to sit here for 30 minutes to try and figure this out or figure out the order of certain things. Yeah, it's pretty brutal in that respect. The game does have potential. It's still in early access. I really do hope there's a lot more changes because the game could be a lot of fun. But as it is now, I don't know. If you're a survival horror fan specifically, I would say give it a try. If you're not, maybe wait till the full release and then maybe give it a try then. But yeah, it's a little bit brutal in certain aspects and kind of gets in the way of itself. But yeah, that clutteriness and the jankiness is still there, but it's fine. Honestly, I enjoyed it, but yeah, there's some issues.